Hi everybody, and welcome to the Open eCrime midweek market commentary for the 30th of October. My name's Simon Clark from Trade with Precision, and I'll be discussing the markets that are of key interest right now. Now, the first market I'm going to take a look at today is the Australian dollar against the Canadian dollar. Now, this market's just recently pulled back to the parity level, and I want to take a look at how price is reacting around it. So I'm going to take a look at the slightly lower time frames here this time. So I'm taking a look at the weekly chart here, because basically on the weekly we can get a much better perspective of what's happening with price. So if I just zoom this up a little bit, you can see that price has found support around these two levels here for a period of time. Now, these two levels are 99 and the parity level 1000. So we know that those two levels have been tested numerous times in the past. They've been support, they've been resistance. Price eventually broke through this area earlier on this year, and now we've rallied right back up to test these levels. So price came back and it's tested parity, and now it's fallen back and we're sitting right on top of that 99 level. So at this moment in time, we've certainly got some nice convergence here on our indicators, just confirming the direction of the current market. If we come down the time frames and we start to take a look here at the daily chart, we can see this price action in a bit more detail. And if I just zoom this up, you can see how the price action was just moving down, how we had a nice trend down to August, and then since August we've now formed a nice new uptrend here. Nice series of higher highs and higher lows in price. It's a nice sort of steady trend, and we've got all of our moving averages in the right order now, and we've got lovely convergence here on the indicators. Now, I've got in here my 99 level, which you can see that on that higher time frame you can see that that's been prior support and resistance, and it's even on this time frame we can see that it reacts as well. Price has broken through that, now it's pulled back, and at this moment in time today we've got a small bullish candle sitting there right on top of the 99 level, right in the buy zone as well. So if we come down the time frame, so we can start to take a look at this in a bit more detail. So if we take a look at the 480 chart here, again we can see the strength of this trend. We can see our pullback, and obviously here on our 480 chart the pullback's going to be beyond our sort of moving average buy zone, but we've pulled straight back into that level. And since we've tested that level, we've now got, buying action coming back into the market. So we come down the time frames even more and take a look at the 4-hour chart here. We can see this test again of this 99 level. I've marked in the 1000 level, the parity level here as well, and we can just see that price has tested this level a couple of times, and now we're starting to get a move towards the long side. So what I'm looking for here is I'm stalking this market to see, if we do get a retest of this 99 level and a break underneath it, well then I think we've got a good move to the downside. There's pretty much nothing in the way, no prior support and resistance levels in the way for some time for a reasonable move to the short side. If we can form a new uptrend here, which it looks like it's starting to do here on the sort of lower time frames, then I think at least the first retest is going to be back towards this parity level, and then I'll be taking a look at how price reacts around the parity level if we can get a decisive break above it. So that's the sort of thing that I'm looking for here on Australian dollar against the Canadian dollar. Okay, the next market I'm going to take a look at here today is gold. Now, this is the mini futures contract, the APYG contract. And if we just take a look at this market, there's some rather interesting price action around where the market is at the moment, and I think we're in sort of a decision time at this moment in time. So let's take a look at the higher time frames, and I'll talk through the analysis and show you what I'm looking at. So again, we're starting here with the weekly chart. We can see that the weekly chart's been in a nice strong downtrend. We've now put in a lower high, but at this moment in time we've now put in a higher low, and price is now sort of moving back up towards this 1.400 level. So we've got some nice convergence on the indicators, but we haven't got a confirmed uptrend yet here on the weekly chart. So coming down to the daily chart, we can see this sort of price action in a bit more detail, and we can see that there are some levels here, this 1320 level, which, for example, on these lower time frames, which price has found prior support and resistance at. Most notably at the moment, we've got a nice uptrend forming here on the daily chart, a nice clear series of higher highs and higher lows, and we've got some nice convergence here on the indicators. If we come down to the lower time frame, so taking a look at the 480 chart here, and if I just zoom this up a little bit, you can see here that within this context of this uptrend that price has formed, this uptrend has now formed very nicely, nice clear series of higher highs and higher lows, and it's interacted with these levels of support and resistance that price has formed in price. So we've got here, the the 1320 level that I had marked in there in the daily. Price has now moved up to this next level, which is 1344 and 1354. So we can see that these levels have been prior support and resistance in price. Also, we see that price is now sort of pushed above the 1354 level, broken back underneath, and now we've just had, we're right in those levels at this moment in time. So just taking a look at what the sort of current price action, we've also got a bit of divergence here on the indicators. Indicators starting to roll over here, so just indicating that we might be getting a bit of weakening momentum here, and price might actually find it a little bit more difficult to get through this level. So taking a look down here at the 240 chart, we can see this sort of detail in a bit more action here. So we can see, there's just looking at the wicks on these candles here, indicating that price is finding it difficult to get above this level, and in actual fact, price has come back down, tested 1344 again before pushing back up again. We've certainly got some weakening momentum coming in here, indicated on the MACD and the RSI. So I think if the market actually breaks above this level here, above the sort of 1353, 54 level, we get a decisive break above there, we could be looking for an extended move to the long side. If we break this level, well then of course we've got this next level, this 1320, which has been prior support and resistance on these sort of lower time frames, which I think is the next sort of level of potential resistance for or support for price. Okay, the next market I'm going to take a look at today is Treasury notes. Now this is the 10-year Treasury notes, and if we take a look at the weekly chart here, we can see that again similar sort of price action to Australian dollar against the Canadian dollar, in the fact that price has found support along this level here is around 127.39. That it's found support here a number of times, broken underneath, and now price has rallied right back to this level. Now we've just broken above this level at the moment, and we've certainly got some nice convergence here on the indicators. If we come down to the daily chart, and if I just zoom this up a little bit, we can see this level we know this level has been tested numerous times there on the higher time frames. It's been very good support. It's also now found resistance as well, and price has broken above this level, and we've sort of consolidated into the moving averages. We've got some convergence here on the indicators, but things are certainly starting to look a little bit sort of flattened out here. So just coming down the time frames, if we take a look here at the 480 chart, for instance, we can see this sort of price action as price broke above this level. We then sort of consolidated sideways into the moving averages, made a push to the high side, but at the same time we've actually sort of starting to put in some divergence here on the indicators, and we can see from this high to the most recent high we've made a higher high in price. We've actually got some divergence now coming through on the indicators, and that's certainly evident when we start to come down to the lower time frames here, like down onto the 4-hour chart, and we can see this divergence in a bit more detail. So certainly a price at this moment in time is above the 127.39 level. So if it came back down and retested and we saw this divergence play out, then what I'd certainly be looking for is for new momentum to pick up and push this price to the high side, and we've actually got a nice level, a nice strong level for potential stop areas underneath this level. If we do break this level, of course, then we've got potentially, a reasonable move back down to the downside. So another market that I'm keeping a close eye on for trading opportunities. So that concludes the midweek market outlook and potential trading opportunities to look out for this week. I'd like to thank you for watching the Open eCry midweek market commentary, and thank you and look forward to speaking to you next week. Bye for now.